Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're tackling a really fundamental question. Why is it that two people can do the exact same thing, but one finds peace and the other just ends up in sorrow?
It's a huge question. And our source material today, chapter 17 of the Gita, argues the answer isn't in what they do, but in the faith, the intention behind it.
So we're diving into what the text calls the three kinds of faith, or shraddha: sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic.
Exactly. And how these three qualities color everything: your diet, your work, your charity, all of it.
And it all kicks off with a great question from Arjuna. He basically asks, what about people who don't follow the old rules to the letter but still act with, real faith? Where do they fit in?
It's such a modern question, isn't it? And Krishna's answer is that your faith comes from your inherent nature, your swabhava.
Okay, so what exactly is faith or shraddha in this context? It's not just a religious thing.
Not at all. The definition is something like a prior confidence in a goal and the way to get there. It's your deep down belief about what's worth doing and how the world works.
So it could be your confidence in a business plan or a fitness routine.
Precisely. And that confidence, it comes from your past conditioning, your tendencies. Those things shape your nature, and your nature is dominated by one of those three gunas, those qualities.
And that dominant quality then determines your type of faith.
Yes. And this leads to probably the most powerful statement in the chapter. The person is made of their faith.
Wow.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Your goals, your methods, your actions, they are all just reflections of your deepest beliefs. You literally become what you believe.
It's a lot of responsibility.
Mhm.
It puts the focus squarely on your internal world, not blaming things outside.
It does. If you want better outcomes, you have to look at the quality of your faith.
So let's see how that plays out. How does this threefold faith show up in something like, say, worship or who we look up to?
Well, the text lays it out clearly. The sattvic person, who is driven by purity, worships what you might call higher ideals or divine principles, the devas. They're seeking wisdom.
Okay, and the rajasic person. They're driven by passion, so they're looking for a return on investment.
Exactly, a transaction. They worship figures associated with wealth and power, the yakshas and rakshasas. In modern terms, they seek help from the rich and powerful, expecting a tangible benefit.
And the tamasic individual, the one driven by ignorance.
They gravitate toward, well, baser things. The text mentions spirits and the deceased, but the idea is they're drawn to dark, superstitious, or even criminal elements, hoping to get some kind of power from them.
But there's an important clarification there, right? This isn't the same as respectfully honoring your ancestors.
Not at all. That's considered a necessary duty, a dharma. Tamasic worship is about a selfish, ignorant grasp for power. It's an entirely different intention.
That brings us to a really strong warning in the text about actions that are driven by ego and hypocrisy.
Yes, the condemnation of self-afflicting penance. This is about people who perform extreme acts, not from a place of genuine discipline, but for show, for ego.
Like someone who works themselves to the point of burnout just so everyone calls them the hardest worker in the office.
That is the perfect modern parallel. The text says these actions don't just harm the body, they actually starve the divine self that lives within. You're basically attacking your own soul for a little bit of praise.
Which is a powerful idea. And from there, the text shows this pattern applies to everything, starting with our food.
Absolutely. Your ahara, your diet, the food you choose directly shapes your mind.
Okay, break that down for us. What's a sattvic diet?
It's food that enhances life, strength, and health. The text describes it as juicy, smooth, nourishing. Think of fresh, whole foods that leave you feeling clear and energetic.
Energesic.
That's all about immediate sensory pleasure. Overly bitter, sour, salty, hot, pungent foods. They cause, and this is a direct quote, grief, worry, and disease.
So food that gives you a quick rush but leaves you feeling agitated or crashing later.
You've got it. And then tamasic food is, well, it's what you'd expect. Stale, tasteless, foul-smelling, leftover, and impure. It just promotes laziness and dullness.
I have to ask, though, is eating leftovers always tamasic? I mean, sometimes it's just practical.
It's a great question. And it comes back to intention and effect. If the food is still wholesome and you're eating it mindfully to avoid waste, that's not tamasic. The text is talking about food that has lost its life force, food that actively makes you feel lethargic.
The intention makes all the difference.
Yeah.
Which brings us to action itself, or yagna.
Right. Any duty you perform, a sattvic action is done simply because it's the right thing to do. It's your duty. You do it without any attachment to the result.
While a rajasic action is done for show or for a specific reward, a promotion, praise.
A transaction. And a tamasic action is just going through the motions. There's no proper method, no real intention, and especially no faith. It's useless.
Okay, so we've covered diet and duty. What about discipline or tapas? It's more than just harsh self-denial.
Much more. The text breaks it into three kinds: discipline of the body, speech, and mind.
What's discipline of the body?
It's simple, really. Respect for elders and teachers, purity, simplicity, nonviolence, how you conduct yourself physically in the world.
And speech. I feel like this one is especially tough today.
It's incredibly difficult. It's not just speaking the truth. Your words must also be pleasant, beneficial, and not cause agitation. Justifying harshness by saying, "I'm just being honest," doesn't cut it.
That's a high bar. What about discipline of the mind? The text says this is the hardest.
It is. It means achieving cheerfulness, a kind of mental calm. It's about maintaining gentleness, self-control, and silence, not just of the mouth, but of the mind. Keeping your mind steady and pleasant is a supreme form of discipline.
And of course, these disciplines are also classified. Sattvic is when you do them as a duty without wanting a reward.
Rajasic is when you do it for honor or praise. And tamasic is that stubborn self-torment we talked about, or discipline done with the intent to harm someone else.
Let's touch on the last one, charity or dan. This is where intention can really be hidden.
Definitely. Sattvic giving is simple. You give because it's your duty to the right person at the right time and place, and crucially to someone who can't repay you. No strings attached.
Rajasic giving has strings. It's given reluctantly or expecting something back, like a tax break or public recognition.
And tamasic giving is just wrong. It's disrespectful. Given at the wrong time or place, or to someone who will misuse it, the act is meaningless because the intention or the execution is flawed.
So all of this, diet, action, charity, it all culminates in this final code for purifying any action. AUM, Tikat Esi.
Right. It's a three-part formula. AUM begins the act, setting a sacred intention.
Tat dat, which means that, is about dedicating the action to something higher. It's saying, this isn't for my ego, this belongs to the universe. That's the key to selfless action.
And ST means goodness or truth. It aligns your action with what is real and meritorious. It elevates the whole endeavor.
And it all leads to the final, stark warning. Any action done without this kind of faith, without Shraddha,
is called asat. Unreal. Useless. It benefits you neither in this life nor in the next. The intention is everything.
So for you, the listener, the goal is always to move toward that sattvic intention, to see your work as a duty, to perform it with faith, and to dedicate it to a higher purpose. That's how you make your actions real.
And that's how you find peace instead of sorrow.
So here's our final thought for you to take away. We've just learned that maintaining a cheerful, calm mind is considered a high form of spiritual discipline, a tapas. So what's one small habit, just one, related to your thoughts or words that you can commit to this week now that you know its true significance? That's your deep dive.